Electromagnetic waves. In this chapter, we will study about electromagnetic waves, how they are produced, their properties. Then we study about the inconsistency in Ampere's circular law, modification which was made by Maxwell in Ampere's circular law to remove the inconsistency through the concept of displacement current. Then electromagnetic spectrum, in which we will study about different electromagnetic waves, their wavelength range and frequency range, how they are produced and their uses. Electromagnetic waves was first theoretically predicted by Maxwell in the year 1865. He showed that an accelerating charge produces electromagnetic waves. In the year 1887, 22 years after the theoretical prediction by the Maxwell, Hertz succeeded in experimentally confirming the existence of electromagnetic waves. He used an oscillatory LC circuit for producing these waves. He was able to produce and detect electromagnetic waves of wavelength around 6 meter. In 1885, Sir J.C. Bose was succeeded in producing electromagnetic waves of much shorter wavelength with the help of a self-designed radiator. He was able to transmit electromagnetic waves over a distance of about 20 meter. In the year 1896, Marconi discovered that if one of the spark terminals is connected to antenna and other terminal is earthed, then electromagnetic waves can be transmitted over several kilometer distances. He succeeded in transmitting electromagnetic waves across the British Channel in 1899 and across the Atlantic Ocean in 1901. His experiments marked the beginning of radio communication. So this is how the knowledge of electromagnetic waves comes into existence. Now we will discuss about inconsistency of Ampere's circular law. A fully charged capacitor is connected to resistor, as a result of which it begins to discharge through the resistor R. In the process of discharging, let I be the current in the circuit at any instant of time. Now, you can see here the two surfaces S1 and S2, both the surfaces are bounded by the same loop L. Let me explain it. This is your loop L, which encloses the surface S1 like this surface. This same loop also encloses the surface S2, right? And so the surface S2 is also bounded by the same loop. Now we apply Ampere's circular law across both these surfaces. So across S1, If you write Ampere circuital law, it will be B dot dl integral over the closed loop L is equal to mu naught times the current which is threaded across the surface S1, and it is I, the conduction current present in the circuit. So it is mu naught I. Now across S2, integral B dot dl over the closed loop L is equal to 0 because no conduction current threaded across the surface S2. Now here left hand side of both the equation is same, but right hand side they are different. So this shows the inconsistency of Ampere's circuital law. Maxwell introduced the concept of displacement current to overcome the inconsistency of Ampere's circuital law. When he placed a magnetic compass between the plates of the capacitor, he observed that the needle of magnetic compass shows deflection, which confirms the presence of magnetic field in that region. Now, according to electromagnetic induction, changing magnetic field produces electric field. Then Maxwell argued that changing electric field must also induce magnetic field. And as current is a usual source of magnetic field, a changing electric field therefore must be associated with a current that gives rise to magnetic field, and that current is different from the conduction current. He named that current as displacement current. So displacement current is that current which comes into existence whenever electric field and hence electric flux changes with time, and it is defined as ID is equal to epsilon naught d phi e by dt. He pointed out in Ampere's circuital law the current I should be treated as total current, the sum of conduction current and displacement current, and the modified Ampere circuital law is therefore written as B dot dl integration over closed path is equal to mu naught times in bracket conduction current plus displacement current. Now the magnitude of conduction current and displacement current are same. This we can also prove. If Q is a charge present on the plate of the capacitor at any instant, then electric field between the plate will be given by E is equal to Q by epsilon naught A. So flux phi E is equal to E into A. So d phi E by dt is 1 by epsilon naught dq by dt. So epsilon naught d phi E by dt is equal to dq by dt. So LHS represents the displacement current and here RHS represents the conduction current. So displacement current is equal to conduction current. So individually conduction current and displacement current are discontinuous, but together they are continuous. The basic principles in electromagnetism can be formulated in terms of four fundamental equations called Maxwell equations, which are Gauss's theorem in electrostatics, E dot ds over closed surface is equal to Q by epsilon naught, Gauss's law in magnetism, B dot ds integrated over closed surface must be equal to 0 as magnetic poles do not exist in isolation. Then Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, E dot dl over closed path is equal to minus d phi b by dt, or E is equal to minus d phi b by dt, rate of change of magnetic flux, and modified Ampere's circuital law. So this law implies that not only conduction current produces magnetic field, it is changing electric field that can also produce magnetic field. In the year 1865, Maxwell predicted theoretically the existence of electromagnetic waves, what I have explained earlier. Now, a time varying magnetic field is a source of changing electric field, and a time varying electric field is a source of magnetic field as predicted by Maxwell. This means change in either of the field is a source of the other field. He also showed that these variations in electric and magnetic field occurs in mutually perpendicular directions and have wave-like properties. Such a wave is called electromagnetic wave. And according to Maxwell, an accelerating charged particle is a source of electromagnetic wave. So, an accelerating charge in an oscillator is a source of electromagnetic waves. So the oscillating charge produces oscillating electric field in its neighborhood, and this oscillating electric field in its turn produces oscillating magnetic field in its neighborhood. This process continues as oscillation of one field produces the other. Hence, electromagnetic waves originates from accelerating charge. The frequency of electromagnetic waves is equal to frequency of oscillating charge. The energy carried by the waves comes from the source which makes the charge oscillating. Here figure shows you an electromagnetic wave. The magnetic and electric fields create each other again and again, and you can see they are oscillating at right angle to each other, and one produces the other, and both electric and magnetic fields are in phase. Properties of electromagnetic waves. Some of the properties I would like to discuss here. In electromagnetic waves, electric field and magnetic fields are oscillating at right angle to each other and also to the direction of propagation of wave. The electromagnetic waves are produced by accelerated charges and do not require any metal medium for their propagation. The oscillations of electric and magnetic fields are in same phase. Electromagnetic waves traveled in free space with the speed of light. You can see the diagram. Metallic plates are connected to wire and other end is connected to a copper ball. There is a very narrow gap between the two copper balls. Crossways, a high voltage is applied using induction coil. As a result of which, the air in the gap between the two balls ionizes, and these ions are the accelerated charge particles which oscillates in the gap and thereby produces electromagnetic waves, which is detected by the detector. There is also copper balls and there is a very narrow gap between them, and as soon as it reaches in the gap, there it was detected. So you can go through it. Now, in electromagnetic spectrum, we have to learn about the different electromagnetic waves, their frequency range and wavelength range, and their uses. Which you can see radio waves. These are electromagnetic waves of longest wavelength and minimum frequency, and discovered by the Marconi in the year 1895 first, and uses in radio and television communication system, in radio astronomy. Then microwaves. They are electromagnetic waves having wavelength next smaller than radio waves. You can see the frequency range and wavelength range, and it is used in radar systems for aircraft navigation, a long distance communication system via geostationary satellites, in microwaves. Then infrared waves. These radiations lie close to the low frequency or long wavelength of the visible spectrum. Infrared waves produces heating effect, so they are also known as heat waves or thermal radiations. In the remote control of a TV or VCR, the keypad of which contains a small infrared transmitter. In greenhouses to keep the plants warm. In hedge photography, because infrared waves are less scattered than visible light by atmospheric particles. Infrared lamps in the treatment of muscular complaints. In reading the secret writings on the ancient walls, in knowing the molecular structure. Then visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, usage of X-rays, gamma rays, their uses. So with this, our discussion comes to an end. Thank you for watching.